Good afternoon.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Be Free with Dr. C. I am the host for this evening, the Reverend Dr. Catherine Amity, and I greet you all with love on this beautiful, beautiful evening. And we're going to have speaking also tonight a panel. And the panelists will present themselves when they feel free to come forward. Our topic conversation for this evening is you are what you consume. You are what you consume. And we have a couple of questions that we're going to deal with. And those questions are, what is the meaning of consume? Consume. To consume doesn't mean anything to you. And you know, the Bible speaks of consume in the Old Testament, which is to eat, devour, translated as consumed in Genesis, the 31st chapter, and the 40th verse. Exodus, Psalms, Kala, which means to finish, is also translated consume and consumed in Genesis, Exodus. Taman, to be perfect. And Numbers, finished, consume, consumed, and doomed. What do you consume? You are what you consume, whether it's what you eat, what you allow to manifest in your spirit, what you invite into your well-being. What do you consume? You are what you consume. I consume life more abundantly. I consume good health. I consume prosperity. I consume that every day of my life is a good day. So what do you consume? Do you know what consume means to you? And we're going to open up with those who would like to speak on the topic. We're going to have a conversation. And I'm so grateful to be on YouTube Live. What a blessing. What a blessing. You are what you consume. Would anyone would like to speak on? You are what you consume. I consume that someone on his is going to elaborate with us. I see Reverend Anna.
Yes.
Go ahead, my sister.
Oh, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I would like to say that consume, you look at it, you can look at it in different ways. And the one that we are dealing with, to eat or to drink. And when you do this, you do it in a large amount, which is a great quantity, and consume several, some people may eat several bags of potato chips before they just stop eating. But to consume, you take in more than you really need. Also, consume, a person can consume with other things that's not food. You can become consumed with alcohol, that you may be jealous of. That's a form of consuming. But in Proverbs 23:7, this is a biblical version of what we eat. It says, "For as he thinks he is in his heart, so is he." What we read and review has determined what affects us. Some
Have we lost Reverend Anna? The next person up. Okay, go ahead.
Me, and that is. Could you all hear me?
No, you went in and out.
Okay, well, consume. I explained what it is. To eat or drink in a great quantity.
Okay.
And God does speak about all food being clean, and people consume that you can consume food, but if you bless your food, it's okay.
If you bless your food, you are safe to eat
the food. Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
Hello. Hey Jay. I was going off. Let Jay talk.
Oh no, you could go.
Okay, Deborah.
Hey everybody. Hey Pastor.
Hey, Deborah.
Hey Reverend Anna. Well, first of all, giving glory to God. And I consume all of that stuff you said you consume too, Doctor. I consume good life, good health. I consume all of that. I want to come at it from a different angle though.
Okay.
Because the manifestation of the generation that we have right now are young people.
Yes.
I want to say from 18 to 25, maybe even younger. We're seeing the fallout now of what they've consumed with their eyes and their ears, because we can consume with our eyes and our ears. Right. So now we're seeing the fallout of what they've been consuming, which is nobody talking about God, letting them raise themselves. They're from a video age. They've been consuming literally death on the screen for years. You shoot people on the screen, they pop back up. This is what our young people have been consuming. Now they have no value of life. They're shooting each other. But this is from what they've consumed. This from their eyes and their ears, what they've seen, what they've heard. We have a generation that has consumed nothing. Foolishness, evil movement, evil doing. We have a generation now that if you did not raise your children, we're baby boomers. If you did not raise your children in the admonishment of God and tell them about God, they don't really even know anything about them. They'll say things like, well, oh yeah, my grandmother told me. So we have a generation who's not consumed the word, who's not consumed elders, who walk in wisdom, and we're seeing the manifestation now of what they've consumed. So I'm just coming at it from our eye and ear.
Yes, yes.
We consume. And so I love this topic because you are what you eat. You are what you eat. Yeah. I don't watch news broadcasts. I don't watch the news. So if somebody tells me something, I say, well, let me go find it. But I don't watch the news because if I want to consume good health and consume peace and consume my purpose, I can't have that in my spirit because you consume with your eyes and your ears. So I love this topic. I love this topic. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a participant. We love having you. Okay, Jasmine.
Okay, hello everybody.
Hey, Jasmine.
I just want to piggyback off of what Ms. Deborah had to say. It was sort of similar to what I was coming from, but I put some notes down, so I hope you don't mind. If I read some of my notes, it says, you are what you consume, and to consume, it means to eat, drink, and ingest. But like Ms. Deborah was saying, we also consume in different ways with our eyes and our ears. So I wrote down that as humans, we are unique in the way that we consume. We take in and we get to put out, but what we put out has more of an effect on others and the planet than other species, so to speak. We have 5 senses. We have the sense of vision and hearing, touching, smelling, and tasting. So I feel we consume in all of those things. And so that means when we eat, we have, I feel like also it's the responsibility to those who are aware, because most people, they aren't aware or will play like they're not aware of their actions and things like that. But the ones who are aware and has that ability to be aware of their own doing, it's their responsibility to, I guess, take accountability for the things that they consume, whether it's the food they eat, the vices they do, the things they watch, the things they listen to, and all of the above. So also, okay, also, it's like a computer, how a computer brand new out the box, it needs programming. So you get to programming different things on your computer. And but if you click the wrong link, it'll devastate your computer. So in the terms of I guess, like, using it as a metaphor for people, if we click on the wrong links or consume the wrong things too much or whatever, then it could devastate our computer and our hard drive. We will self-destruct or whatever. And also in that, I feel like, we are little, like, we all have our own things that we are programmed with, whether, we get that from our first teachers, our parents. We also consume lessons and things from the environment, and our parents, they consume what they consume from their parents and the environment. So it goes up a ladder and down a ladder, but those things that we consume, we pass them off to our children. So with that being said, everybody is, perfectly imperfect. I don't believe in perfect people. And everybody has their own things that they need to work on. But the only innocent people to me are children, because they are like the brand new computer that you can either, you could build it up to be a supercomputer, or you can contaminate it and it'll be like a virus. And you don't know why it's self-destructing, but it's destructing. So that, to me, what we consume, what we consume has the most effect on right now, tomorrow, the world, and even the people closest to us, and spread out. And that's all I have to say.
Wonderful. Very good, Jazz. Anyone else? Consume. And
hello everyone. This is Tommy.
Hi, Tom.
I would like to speak on uh, we are what we are consumed. And I was thinking long and hard about this, and I had to go back to our ancestors during slavery, when their slave master was giving them hog feet, hog guts, chicken feet, pigtails, greens, and all the above. That in our day and time, we call it soul food. And we enjoy it and we eat it every day. But I would like to say that, hey, we have become what we eat. And I'm here to state a few statistics that come from the CDC. And so according to the CDC, African Americans are more likely to develop high blood pressure at a younger age, and 75% of African Americans over 60 have high blood pressure. African Americans are more likely to experience complications from high blood pressure, including cardiovascular disease and stroke. And so therefore, we enjoy our soul food. And I'm not saying that we should not have that tradition of eating soul food, but I think we should limit it to once, twice a week, because this is what's killing our people. Mm-hmm. And this is what we consume, and it's causing death among our people.
Okay, so what we eat and what our forefathers ate, do you feel that what they ate made them have high blood pressure and all this back in their time, in their days? Or is there a difference in the process of what we eat?
What I'm saying is that the slaves, they didn't have a choice in what they ate. So therefore, when the white man slaughtered the hog, he kept all the choice pieces. He gave them the tail, the guts, and whatever else that he wouldn't eat. He gave them the chicken feet and the chicken beak. He gave them stuff that they did not eat, and therefore our ancestors, being, gifted as they are, they took the scraps that the white man gave, and they made a meal for the kids and everything. But I'm saying after 200 years, this is what's causing Black people to have high blood pressure at an enormous rate, cardiovascular disease, blood pressure, and solely because we're eating wrong. So we are what we eat because we eating all the wrong things, the salty foods, the bad foods that are bad for us, but we love today. I'm saying that not to stop eating soul food, but to limit and cut down on what you eat.
Okay, very good. We are what we eat. You are what you consume. That's correct. Now, speaking of our ancestors, and this is what I was trying to relate this to. Our ancestors ate what the slave masters prepared or gave them to eat. Do you think that we inherited that the traits from the way that our ancestors ate? And do you think this is the reason why whenever you hear anything that's really negative concerning diseases, it's always the people of color are the ones who are likely to die before this other race? What do you think about that? Or does that make any sense?
Could you explain that more?
What I'm saying, like you were saying about our ancestors, they ate what the scraps, they ate whatever that was provided for them, the leftovers, the chicken guts and all that. As the years progress, another generation of slaves that came from the slaves, are we continuing, or did we follow what our ancestors, their habit of eating, what they ate? Or do you think that this is the reason why whenever something come up, any diseases, we are always labeled as the one who would have 99% to get this cancer, or to do this or do that? Do you feel that that is why we're in that state? Because of what was told to us, we had to eat this, so our children and grandchildren, they're following in the same pattern. That make any sense of what I said? I feel that when statistics come and say that, the people of color will gain this disease quicker than any other race. And they're saying that it's because of the way that we have been entitled to eat whatever. But they're eating the same thing that we eat. They're eating, the other race, they're eating pig feet, hog maws, whatever. So why is it that we are the one who are likely to have these diseases and they're eating the same thing?
Oh, okay. Well, for one thing, you have some white people that eat hog maws and guts.
Chitlins and all that.
Chitlins, yes. But the statement I was making is that we were forced, so to speak, to eat it because that was the only thing that was given to the slave. So they made a delicacy out of it. So now in 2024, we look at the chitlins as a delicacy, the ham hocks, the hog maw, but all of these things are salty and will cause high blood pressure. It causes it in white people also, but because we as Black people don't like to go to the doctor, we don't like to be told anything, and we love to eat our soul food, that it's not that. And then on top of that, you got to speak on the fact that we get bad treatment from the hospitals when we go there, and we don't get the best of treatment, but it all stems down to learning how to eat. Okay. I would say that you must learn how to eat. And the Bible speaks sometimes of what to eat and what not to eat. Like you should eat the lamb and not the sheep, or you should eat the lamb and not the hog. Some people say that greens are bad for you, but I'm saying that we developed over 200 years in what they call predisposition. So therefore, as a Black race or African-American race, we have developed predisposition for these diseases because we totally consumed them for so many years. Whereas you have white people in the South, they eat the same thing, but they also come down with the same diseases, but we just so happen to be 75% more.
And that's what I want to hear you say. Yeah. That you broke it down, that the way that we are prepared and the way that we continue to eat on a regular basis, if we eating this hog maws or whatever, how we prepare the food, if we put a lot of grease or whatever in there, something that will be harmful. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Correct. Well, that's the basic of what I was saying, is that basically we must look at the fact that we are eating all wrong.
We're eating wrong. So we are what we
consume. To our kids. Now our kids is coming along, then they teaching it to their kids.
From generation to generation.
From slavery to now.
To now.
Anyone else?
If it's okay, I wanted to kind of piggyback off of what Uncle Tommy was just sharing. I do think that it does affect different demographics differently, but I do think in general, American cuisine and American culture has it's definitely like a difference in the quality of food that we're getting today compared to just a couple of generations ago. A lot of that has to do with um, soil depletion and the lack of healthy um, microbiome population in the soil, and it's affecting the quality of our produce. And that's just one element of our diet. When you look at microplastics and how a lot of our food today is packaged in plastics, that stuff kind of leaches into our food as well. So all of that has an effect on everyone's health. I think that today you see a lot of issues with obesity, and not just in the African American community, but in general. It's interesting when you think about how people are overeating, but it's almost like it's coming from like a yearning for more, hunger that can't be satisfied. And I think that that is there's a spiritual reason for that. But yes, it's interesting just to think about, and I appreciate the topic.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? You know, when I'm thinking about the way that Deborah came forward with the way that she presented it, you know, it deals with also to consume. What do you consume mentally? What do you consume with that spiritual awakeness, you know? And to look at our young people, they're consuming a lot of negative. And that's what Deborah was saying, a lot of negativity, you know, into their spirit, into their young mind. And, you know, you can consume a lot of spirits into your mind. And I believe that's what's going on with our young people as well, because they are consuming a lot of filth, a lot of negative spirits, jealousy, envy, strife, a lot of this where they don't realize because they're young. They don't know what's going on. So this is a very good topic, consume. Anyone else would like to address this topic on consume? What do you think about the word consume? And many of us spoke on what it means to us. You addressed it well, consume. And confidence. Do you consume confidence? Happiness, blessings, deliverance. A lot of us has consumed so many different things in our lifetime where we're like in bondage because we have consumed all of this negative talk where people want to, especially our young people, speak doubt into their mind concerning themselves. And that is what I believe is allowing our young people to really be disturbed mentally, they're disturbed physically, and when they grow up, if they're not delivered after being consumed with all of this, what's going on in life, they have to be set free from all of this negative and not positive, negative, speak negative. They see negative. They hear negative. So what are they consuming? They're consuming all of this garbage, I'm going to say it, garbage, into their spirit, where they're not allowed to be the young people that they need to be because of what they have encountered. Anyone else would like to speak? Consume.
Doc, I want to say, I like that you consume confidence. I like that because you do consume confidence. You do. Because I consume confidence from my first teachers, like Jazz said, my parents. I always thought I could do anything anybody else could do. So because I raised my children in that same spirit, they're the same way. But not only that, we have to make sure that they consume not only confidence, we have to make sure that they, just like you just said, what kind of peers are they consumed by? So I like that. I believe you. I like that, and I'm going to have to. I'm gonna steal that from you. I'm telling you now.
Go ahead, girl.
You consume confidence.
Confidence.
Do you consume confidence? Because you literally can't consume confidence by surrounding yourself with confident people, positive people, people who don't complain every day, but have a solution-oriented mind. So I do believe that, and I'm glad to hear you say that, because literally it's the way I live, but I never had those words for it. So thank you so much. I like that.
So you're welcome. And also peace. You know,
yes, God.
Peace.
Yes, God.
Do you choose to
yes, God.
be peaceful, to have peace of mind? You
yes,
can
God.
consume that. You can consume that peace.
That's right. I believe it.
And that's what I choose. I chose peace.
Yes, God.
For me.
Yeah.
And see, it's a personal thing.
It is.
You know, and I chose peace. I chose confidence. I chose deliverance, to be delivered, because we all need to be delivered of something.
It's God. It's God. I believe it. I love it. I love this topic. I love it. Choose
Consume.
peace. Forget about coins. Forget about people with these expectations that they have of you as a woman of God, as a woman in the church, and choose peace. Choose peace. Consume peace. I consume peace. And if you break my peace, or if you're not peaceful and you're not trying to consume peace, I consume the road away from you. Yeah,
that's right. You have the opportunity to really mold your life the way that it should be, because God has given all of us, you know, we have a choice to choose. And if you choose to stay in the lion's den, that's where you're going to end up, if you choose. But you can choose to come out of that situation. You can choose to step out of that boat. I'm gonna remain. I'm consumed with whatever you know, my surrounding. I'm gonna stay there because I'm consumed. I'm doomed. No, I'm not. I'm not doomed. You're not doomed. You have a choice, and you can come out of any situation that you're placed in. because most of the time we place ourselves in those situations.
All right,
Anyone else?
Dr. C.
Go ahead.
You know, another thing too, Dr. C, consume. In the Bible, it says that consumed by a fire. God
Yes.
consumed them. So sometimes we can finish a thing also. Sometimes we can finish a thing. And so what I'm hearing you saying is if you choose to have peace, if you choose to come up out of that, you can consume the pathway up out of it. It could be
That's right.
finished.
That's
It could be
right.
finished. Yeah, I like that.
That's right. You can do it. I believe that you can do it.
I don't want to hog the show.
Well, that's all right. Anyone else?
I would like to say something. I would like to
Go
quote
ahead.
this verse. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Proverbs 23:7. And it says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." So basically, I get from that is that if we sit around thinking negative things, then we become a negative person.
That's right.
But whatever we think, that's what we become.
And that's what you consume.
Yes.
That's good. That's what you consume. If you consume all of this negative thoughts in your heart, that's what you said, in your heart, if you consume that, if you want to speak that every day, that is what you're going to become, because it's going to be planted in your spirit. It's planted in your spirit. So you have to break free. Come out of it. Go ahead, Tommy. You finished?
Yes, you have to rearrange your thoughts. You have to
Rearrange
start
your
living,
thoughts.
living differently. If you're doing anything negative that's consuming you, for as in the streets, you know, the streets, it's a lot of negative things going on. But if you out there and involved and you are consuming all this negative, you will become those people, the same negative people that you're trying to run from. So I'm saying that even watching television, you let your kids sit and watch all these horror movies, these guns, what they call it, shoot 'em ups that my father called. Hey, back when we was young, we would watch television. We'll watch a cowboy movie, but you never seen a bullet hit a person, and you never seen any blood. But if you look at the movies today, you see the head get blowed off, blood everywhere. So what they're doing to the young people, they desensitizing the people, and our kids are consuming these movies and don't even talk about the what they call the games, the video games. Some of those video games are so violent, and whereas young kids, 5 and 6 year old, playing some games where you rob a person of their car and you shoot them in the head, and it's so graphic that they're starting young to get the young kids into this negative thing, which is going on in the world today. And if you follow in the music industry and all that, as you can see, the kids are consuming that also.
Exactly. But guess what? We as parents, teachers, community leaders, preachers, whatever, and whoever you are, we need to pray, because we have to pray. We have to pray for this generation and the generation to come, because that's what the enemy is all about, to devour. That means, you're going to suck up. You're going to really destroy, because our young people need prayer. They need prayer. And who's going to pray for them and with them? If we don't pray, the world's certainly not going to try to pray, because they're the one that want them to be on this, that, and the other. They want them to consume all of this that's going to destroy them. We consume, consumed. What are we gonna do? Anyone else?
Yo.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm enjoying everyone's, input so far.
Mhm.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. No,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So, very good stuff. I think only thing I want to, kind of delve into is the idea of consuming
Mhm.
and its root in consciousness, right? We
Mhm.
have 5, some people say 6 senses, and we consume through all of them. And
Mhm.
everybody's kind of touched on that, consuming through the television, consuming through, the radio or music, consuming through the eyes, consuming through the ears, consuming through the mouth,
Mhm.
right? Consuming, dietary wise, consuming the things that we touch, things that we feel,
Mhm.
right? The things that we smell, and the thoughts that we think are actually fed, right? They're either
Mhm.
nourished or malnourished by all of those things, right? Through all of those senses. And I like what Marie mentioned as far as the depletion in the microbiome of the soil that food is cultivated in, right? And you're talking about microbiome, you're talking about culture, right? That's another scientific way of speaking to microbiome and microorganisms and natural bacteria and things of that nature. You're talking about culture, and essentially that's the root of our problem. Even if you're talking about a going back to slavery as it pertains to diet, slavery as it pertains to how we interact with and treat one another, what we think about one another, the lack of confidence that we may have in ourselves and our people, and all of the above, right? It's a cultural issue that is rooted in damage to our culture. As a people, we have to repair the damage, and all of the institutions that exist to feed the senses, right? The television programming, or anything that's meant to be taken in through the eyes, the music or lectures or sermons or anything that's meant to be taken in through the ears, the diet, or anything that's meant to be taken in through the mouth, etc. So on, all of the above, all of the senses, we need to establish cultural institutions that have a correct, and if we don't know what that is, that's the first line of business to, figure out what is the correct, diet. What is the correct diet as far as literally and figuratively speaking? What is the correct diet that we need to be taking in through the senses? What type of television programming? What type of radio programming? What type of education? What type of spiritual programming? What type of, nutritional program, right? Dietary program and regimen. We need to address all of these things, and that's really, outside of the spiritual quote unquote work or the religious work, etc. So on. We have to have you gotta think about it. If this is competitive, we're all being bombarded with the opposite. We've been bombarded with the the bad stuff, constantly through, every avenue. So we need to establish a countermeasure, a counterculture, as they say, where we're bombarding ourselves with the right stuff constantly taking in the right stuff through all the senses. Okay, that's all I wanted to add.
Very good, very good. So we are what we consume. Anyone would like to say a few words before we close out? So you can speak. We have a few more minutes.
All I want to say is it's kind of hard to follow Binu.
Go ahead, girl.
He's so deep.
Go
It's
ahead.
kind of hard to follow him. I just want to say thank y'all. Look, I'm not going to add nothing. Thank y'all for letting me be on the show. I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed everybody. But Sister Jazz and Binu, I better come talk to y'all in person so I know how to translate what y'all talk. But I enjoyed everything, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We enjoyed you as well. Anyone else would like to say something? You can speak now because
Well,
go ahead.
can I read another verse?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm coming from Romans 12:2. It said, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by of your mind. So what would you say about that verse? What would you say about that?
Be not conformed.
Let me read it again. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
To me, it means that what is going on in this world as of now, it's nothing new, really. It's nothing new. But in order for me to have my mind together and to do what I need to do for me and for my children that my husband and I raised, I can't let this worldly stuff, what's going on in the world, be what I am, what is going on now. I can't let that be who I represent. And to transform my thoughts, I have to really make sure I'm straight. Make sure that all this stuff that's going on television or on whatever, make sure that it's not who I am, and transform my mind. My mind is transformed to be a better Catherine. That's who I want to be. I want to be better myself because if I'm not straight, I cannot help the next person. So I want to transform my mind for betterness, to be the best that I can be, and to look forward to my future when I leave here. And I'm speaking on another level. I'm transforming my mind, my spirituality, not religious, but who I am on the inside, that reflection will reflect to somebody that I am a child of God. That's what I want to be transformed to. It may not mean what you wanted to hear, but that's the way I feel about it.
Hello?
Anyone else?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay, off of what he said, to me, it means like know whose voices you are hearing. Like you said, know yourself. Know your purpose. Follow your purpose. I feel like everyone has an inner voice and their conscious mind. And if they believe in a higher power, they know what side that voice is coming from, whether it's coming from a high place or a low place, being able to discern, what you're consuming, because we all are vulnerable living in this world to things subliminally and not subliminal. But if you are strong in your mind, it takes a while to be very strong in your mind or whatever. You can discern who is this coming from? Where is this thought coming from? You know, some people have intruding thoughts. Why am I having these intruding thoughts? You know, and to me, you know, I'm grown, so I consume a lot on my own, like I said, and some subliminally, but I always try to figure out, who is this coming from? Is this me? You know, why do I feel this way? And I know what seems dark, what seems light, and I try to stray from darkness. I really don't have those moments all the time. And if it is a moment where I'm just in a mood and I'm probably full of what the world has, you know, threw at me or whatever. But to get myself out of that space, I have to find myself or whatever. And I feel like individually, you know, it's good to have preachers and counselors and teachers and people who are put into place to kind of guide the people who are lost, because it's easy to lose yourself sometimes, especially if you are a child. You know, they have the most vulnerable minds. They can be shaped and molded into whatever type of human being, you know. But you know, if you could counter the darkness with some light, you could try to save, you could save the children, you could save the future, you know.
Yes.
But that's just what I have to say.
Well, you know, that's good, because you are what you consume. And when you said know who's speaking to you, because, you know, I read a book once, Know Who's Speaking, because all the negative thoughts that enter your mind, you know, negative, and you allow that to just lay there, just sit there. Who's speaking? Is this self? Is this my conscience? You know, that's really worrying me? Or is this the Spirit of God? Is this God's voice that's speaking to me in my heart? You may not hear the words through your ears, but you can feel it in your heart. Know who's speaking to you. That's good. Anyone else? You are what? You are what you consume. I want to thank all of you for coming on this evening. This has been a beautiful, beautiful lesson. And I thank God for all of you. And I'm going to give you one more try before we close. Anyone want to say something? And don't say, well, she didn't give me a chance to talk. Anyone want to talk? Speak now.
Well, I hate
Go
to
ahead.
hog. I hate to
Go
hog.
ahead. Go ahead, Deborah.
But I did have another thought concerning something that Jazz had said earlier. I do feel like it's the responsibility of those that are aware to look, to see, to do, to not just talk. So I really love that. I believe if you're aware of these situations, even what we're talking about tonight, what do you consume? So we became aware of some fresh things tonight. I know I did. I heard some fresh language tonight. So because I'm aware, I want to take everything out of every learning experience to try to do something better with it. Because, Doctor, I'm in the same place you are. I just want to be the best me that I can be. And I know that we have such a purpose and such a job to do. And so, to me, I want to consume everything that has to do with my relationship with God, with elevating my knowledge and my learning and all your get understanding. So I want to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence to consume the things that are going to add to that, manifest that. We can't just say it. And then like the brother said, you know, you got high blood pressure and you eating pig feet every day, like you have to consume. You have to consume what you want to be, because I think you said it on that. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. So I'm not coming back again. I just feel like I'm all.
That's all right. That's all right. Beautiful. Anyone else? If no one else, let us close out with a prayer. Close out with prayer and blessings. Father God, we just thank you right now for this opportunity to come before your people, oh God. We just claiming all the victory of peace, blessings, prosperity. We praying for our young people, oh God. We pray, oh God, that you would just send someone to lead and guide them and touch them, oh God, that they would know that you're God and there's no other God. And we just thank you, God, for this opportunity. Once again, we speak blessing into every home, every home. And oh God, continue to bless our children as they go to school, oh God. Cover them with the blood of Jesus, that no weapon formed against them shall prosper. And we thank you right now, and we claim in by faith that protection is right there as they enter wherever they go. And we thank you right now. And let everybody say amen.